Lineage of, you already know. Oh my goodness. So I'm sure many of you guys have already heard about this story because the story is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, okay? You have these three teens who are going to prison. Hopefully for the rest of their life, but unfortunately, that's not how it's turning out to be. And the reason why they're going to prison is over an iPhone. Now, we have the model citizen, we have the Asian kid who is suggested by law enforcement to be the ringleader of the three, and then you have these two little white kids. And one of them has already been sentenced. They're doing time for 40 years. You have another one who was 14 at the time, who's doing 7 years. I think that's crazy, okay? And then you have the ringleader, the little Asian kid, who is looking at a possible 60 years in prison. Now, I would say all of those sentencing, that is light work, okay? Light work. Because what happened is the little Asian kid got his phone stolen. And he used Find My iPhone to come across this house. Now, turns out that the house that he came across was not the house. The person in there was not the person who stole their phone. So I don't know how he came to this house. I don't know how accurate Find My iPhone is, but that's what happened. Now, it would have been okay if he just left it there, but he took it a step beyond, right? Instead of calling law enforcement, instead of calling the police that they constantly want to tell us to do, hey, just call the police, okay? Don't worry about dealing with it on your own. Just call the police, okay? Hey, let the system handle it. Go through the judicial system, okay, like good citizens. Well, the model citizen, you want to know what they did? Well, they did some arson. That's correct. They set the house ablaze. Three of them. All three of these little demons, that's what they did. And the problem is that there was a family inside. There was over 6 people in that house who perished. Listen to me, including 2 babies, bruh. 2 babies. I want you to understand how evil, how wicked you have to be to do something like that. Over a phone. This reminds me of when they were talking about, hey, why do we deal with people who hate us? These are people who hate us. Remember when Charlie Kirk was talking like that? And I'm thinking to myself, think about all that has happened to Black Americans in this country. And never have you seen any type of vitriol, hatred on a wide scale level ever in this country. There's never been any retribution. There's never been any point of revenge. Think about that. That's what they constantly fear. Oh, Black people, once they get, they're more of the population, the demographics change, they're going to get revenge. We have never shown any sign of revenge in this country. Now, I have my thoughts on that. But, there are some who see that as good and there's some who see that as bad. I see that as very much a conditioning of post-traumatic slave syndrome, okay, of how they condition us as a group to just accept it. Because if something happens wrong with the white liberal, they go out and hey, we got to get this happening. We got to do outreach. We got to create a bill. We have to get it through Congress. We have to reach out to our leaders. White Republicans, something happens to them they don't agree with. Hey, we got to stop this. We got to stop the liberal agenda. We got to stop the woke agenda going in our schools, going in our films. We got to stop this. Let's get a bill passed. Let's get this. But when it comes to us, hey, this is some bullcrap. What's happening to us? What about our communities? But what about our culture that's being, commercialized? What about us? Get over it. Lift yourself up by the bootstrap. Stop complaining all the time. Just work harder. That's what they give to us, okay? And you see these little demons. This is what they have done. They didn't call the police, okay? They didn't leave it to the system. What did they do? They went and set a house ablaze over an iPhone. Think about that. Over a small infraction of an iPhone. One Asian being the ringleader, 2 white kids. You tell me what am I supposed to take of this story? What am I supposed to take of this story? Because this is wild. 60 years? They should get life. Even when it's something as egregious as this, we see how they give them little light sentences. I'm sorry, 40 years is light. 6 people have perished, including 2 babies. 2 babies. You had 2 other people who broke bones, right, trying to jump out of the house. They get 40 years. One gets 7 years, 7 years in prison, and then 4 years juvenile probation. And then this kid, 60 years. They should get life. I'm sorry. It's a lineage of evil. That's what I'm going to say. It's a lineage of evil as we see. That this is what they are being taught. And here's what I want people to understand. The difference when it comes to the black criminality and Asian and white criminality is that our upbringing is very different. The vast majority of black criminality, a majority of crimes has to do with either gang related or poverty. That is 99.9% of all criminal activity. You want to talk about Chicago, you want to talk about anything else, it's going to revolve around gang affiliation and poverty. That's why. And both of those stem from systemic racism in this country that is currently going on today. Now, let's look at Asian and whites. That's not what's happening. That's not what's happening. Okay? They are choosing this evil. That's what they are doing. So it's a different background as opposed to black criminality. They're having fathers in the home, right? They constantly want to talk about, oh, fathers in the home. They have fathers in the home. They don't come from impoverished neighborhoods. They don't have or never have, as far as ancestors, in a lineage of systemic racism in this country towards either groups of those people. And yet you notice their behavior is akin to this. Their behavior is absolutely heinous. So what is the reason going on here? Now, I'm sure you can chalk it up to mental health issues. I'm sure you can chalk it up to depression. But what is happening here? This can be solved very easily, but the country doesn't want to solve it. The country wants black people in a state of fear, in a state of panic, in a state of savageness, because that's what happens when you rob people of everything, of their humanity. That's what happens. Okay? You constantly tell someone you're an animal, you're a criminal. Well, naturally, it's going to have an impact on them. So what is their excuse? What's the little Asian kid's excuse? To burn down a house. What's the little 2 white kids' excuse? To burn down a house with 6 people in it. I would argue that there's some racial animus behind there. I'm surprised they didn't charge them with a hate crime. That's what I'm surprised. You want to tell me that if you go through their text messages, if you go through their social media, there's not going to be anything displaying a disdain for black people? So I find it very interesting that these kids got off easy for the heinous action that they did. Anyways, guys, that's the video. There is no either or here, bruh. There is no either or here. This is heinous. This is evil. This is wicked. Okay, that's all there is. And an innocent family perish because of their violent tendencies. Where was their impulse control? Can someone tell me about that? Where is Asian Lives Matter here? Where is Stop Asian Hate here? All of them tend to be very quiet when it comes to black victims. I notice that because it doesn't fit the MO. It doesn't fit the MO that they have been propagandized. Anyways, if you have a disagreement, you're more than welcome to call in during disagreement days. You know where to find me. Friday through Sunday, call in. We'll duke it out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to like, share, comment. Let me know what you guys think. What is the solution here to this evil behavior of these people? How do you deal with this, bruh? It gets tiring after a while. And subscribe and all that fun stuff. Till next time, guys, be amazing. Think about that. Over a small infraction of an iPhone,